I'm thirsty. He grinned as he stumbled through the bar. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. His breath clearly said it all. His car was parked behind the back door. Tuxedo black, El Camino, 1969. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. His filthy fingers said it all. Yeah. Give it all. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. His lazy eyes said it all. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. He said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. All right, give it to me, yeah. All right, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, come on, come on, come on, come on. Well, he said, give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Baby, give me some love. Well, na 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 na.
for yourself. That was when I trusted you, when I could add up 2 and 2. When you promised we'd be together, you, me, forever. Now there's nothing left to lose. And though I understand it's hard sometimes to make up your mind in these trying times, yeah, I just can't accept you leaving me when I'm overseas with the heart so heavy. Think that I deserve the truth for once, not a guilty tone, 'cause you're not alone, yeah. You said you wanna come home, but I know you don't. So this time I won't hear it on the phone. If you got something to say to me, then say it to my face. What it's all about, why you're bailing out. Think you owe me an apology. Just say it to my face. You're sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. Say it to my face. You're sorry.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Today is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. As the nation and our leaders play games around the infrastructure bill and whether or not they're going to fund this government, the reality for many Americans is that they simply don't have a place to stay in the middle of a pandemic. Let's discuss that along with all the news and politics of the day. We begin with On the Clock with Georgia Ford. This morning, Georgia Fort is on location. She is going to be broadcasting from a homeless encampment there in Minneapolis as the local officials have made decisions to take down the very last thing that some people have, their tent. There's a clip that Sister Ford gave us from a previous interview that she did with one of the residents of this tent encampment. We're going to be listening to this clip, but we're also going to be connecting with Georgia there in live as she covers everything that's happening there on the ground at this tent encampment. Let's take a listen to this first clip as Georgia Ford interviews one of the residents of that encampment.
Can you tell me what your thoughts are about this notice that has been put up right here, giving people just, it looks like less than a week to evacuate?
This right here is just a piece of paper. You see, we burnt it. We don't care about it. When we move, we give up. So we're gonna like keep moving. We're gonna keep going. It's like we could move all our tents on the sidewalk and then we're now on public property again. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't think we should move. I'm not moving. I'm putting up a fight. This is actually a tent in the tent because it gives more shade because it's hot right now. It's a little dirty, but I mean, I got a bed. I got a table. We get dropped off food every day, so they feed us. Porta potties are down there at the end of this spot and at the top of this hill. So they give us bathrooms. But they just don't give us showers and stuff, so showers are real hard to get.
Are you ever concerned for your safety?
No, because I've been in a tent for 7 years now, and I've never got touched. I don't put myself in situations like that.
People who don't quite understand why is it that you choose to live in a tent?
Well, actually, I don't choose to live in a tent. It's housing is not easy for a person that has one kid or no kids at all. They don't help us. They don't give us, like they say, got a lot of resources, but not for single people. Not like that, especially women. When they say it's a women's state, it's not a women's state. If you don't have your kids or you're not doing something with your life, you can't get help, period. They look at you down.
Do you have children?
I have one. I have a 9-year-old daughter.
And where does your daughter stay now?
With my little cousin. I temporarily signed her to her, so she's not out here with me. I actually walked out of my house because they took my daughter. So I choose to be outside with my family. The one that's in the red is my little brother. I choose to be out here with my family instead of being in a home because they didn't have a home. So why would I look like being in a home without my family? You know?
Now, what you're looking at on your screen is additional footage from the encampment. What's scheduled to happen this morning, and this is where Georgia Ford is this encampment is scheduled to be torn down. Now, we see this happening all across the country. These scenes are familiar. We've seen it in California. We've seen it here in Atlanta. Homelessness abounds around this country, and yet it seems to be something that we can't solve as a nation, not because we don't have the resources, but because we don't have the political will. We're dealing with a nation that just spent $2 trillion plus in a 20-year war that ended with nothing more than us retreating. And that's because we have a fixation on spending all of our wealth on war, but never to take care of the situation that so many Americans are finding themselves in across this country of every race, every ethnicity, every religion. There is homelessness in this country. And we are also faced with the situation of a housing crisis in general. So what are our leaders doing about it? Where are our leaders on this issue? As we have this fight on the national stage in regards to the infrastructure, what are we actually fighting over? Because this looks like a problem that should be solved by a nation that has enough wealth to spend trillions on war, but we simply don't have the political will. I want to shift gears as we get ready to hear from Georgia Ford on location. I want to shift gears and discuss everything that's happening in Washington, D.C. so that we can juxtapose the absurdity. I want you to take a listen in to Jen Senko, the press secretary for the President of the United States, as she discusses the infrastructure fight and where we stand at this present moment.
Republicans in Congress raised the debt 3 times when Donald Trump was president, and each time with Democrat support. But now they won't raise it, even though they're responsible for more than $8 trillion in bills incurred in 4 years under the previous administration. That's what we'd be paying off. They won't raise it, even though defaulting on the debt would lead to a self-inflicted wound that takes our economy over a cliff.
Almost $8 trillion during the Trump administration, $676 billion during the Biden administration. So what Senator McConnell is refusing to do is to pay the debts of what were rung up under his leadership and when Trump was president.
The meteor is headed to crash into our economy. Democrats are willing to do all the work stopping it. Republicans just have to let us do our job. just get out of the way. If you don't want to help save the country, get out of the way so you don't destroy it.
Not even asking Republicans to vote for it at this point. We know they're unwilling to be the adults in the room. They are blocking the effort by Democrats to raise the debt limit themselves. So it's pretty clear what needs to happen.
Can you guarantee that the U.S. will not breach the debt ceiling, that will not happen?
No, I can't. That's up to Mitch McConnell.
These are the games that are being played with us. The argument over the debt ceiling, you heard from President Joe Biden and Press Secretary Jen Psaki in that clip. We are having an argument on the national level about whether or not the government is going to fund itself, whether or not it's going to do the regular course of their daily duties, which is to increase the debt ceiling so that the government can function. This is what they are there to do. But then when we look at the reality of what most Americans are facing, most Americans really don't have a lot of time to be concerned with the games that are being played in Washington, D.C. As you can see on your screen right now, the debt was exacerbated underneath the Trump administration. And anyone who is saying that they have no willingness to increase the debt ceiling is dealing in bad faith. And it is a great turn to see the president of the United States deal with the Republican Party the way they should be dealt with. Gloves off. We don't have time for these games anymore. But I would challenge the president to go one step further. Consider the residents of the tent encampment there in Minneapolis. Consider the residents of the tent encampment on Skid Row. Consider the residents of all of the homeless populations around this country. Consider the fact that this government generates enough in taxation alone to address these issues right now. And you have the power as the president of the United States to act on issues that matter for the people. I understand the debt ceiling is important. Clearly, we have to function. And the Republican Party is standing in the way of that. And they should be dealt with accordingly. No longer play games with them. The question of bipartisanship is something that the Republicans have answered with a resounding no. So anyone who's talking about bipartisanship at this point, they are 100% complicit with the demise of this country because we are at a breaking point. We are at a tipping point. Because what we're getting ready to see in this next interview from Georgia Ford is a reality that is replicated across this country. While the federal government is trying to decide whether or not it's going to fund itself, the people across this country are struggling with finding housing. Let's take a listen to this next interview. This is another interview that Sister Ford did with a resident of the encampment there that is scheduled to be taken down this morning. And that's where she is on location. And we'll be hearing from her as soon as we can get the live feed connected. They are scheduled this morning to demolish the entire encampment. And this is not just happening in Minneapolis. The most fascinating thing about our fight is that what is happening to you on a local level is replicated across the country. And so it is systemic. But so long as we are allowed to believe that we are in silos and that we're facing this situation alone and that people are living paycheck to paycheck and it's just us, so long as we feel isolated, then this system can continue to get away with what we're going to see in this next interview from Georgia Ford.
Will you take it through? Montez, how long have you stayed out here?
I stayed out here. I was at that tent city for a whole year, and it been basically like 7-8 months here.
I mean, like the traffic, you see all of the cars are constantly going by, and buses, and there's a train above you. You're under the bridge where the train is. Is that hard to sleep through?
Yeah, it is hard sometimes, but it's not, because it's always loud and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to it. So it'd be like too much stuff going on at night, like, shooting and stuff like that. And that's what be waking me up and shit like that is the shots and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So it's just like scared, you know what I'm saying? Because just like a couple days ago or last week, a girl had got killed, down here. And, our uncle, who we call, Uncle Dre, he died in his tent. And then, they had burnt his tent to let his spirit go, you know what I'm saying? That's what he wanted, you know, he wanted his stuff to be burnt, you know what I'm saying? While it's here, you know, not to get taken down and thrown away. He wanted his stuff to get burnt with him before he could, you know, before it could get left up, you know, away, and his spirit to get left, you know, and stuff like that.
So I'm gonna wrap this up because I know you were in the middle of doing different things, but the city of Minneapolis has put signs all throughout this encampment saying that they're getting ready to close it down on October 5th. What are your thoughts about their approach? And do you think that they gave you enough time?
Like, yeah, they gave us enough time. A lot of us enough time because they been saying they gonna, you know, take the tents, you know, down, take the tents down, you know. And I've been telling people, like, if they was gonna take the tents down, they'd put up signs, you know what I'm saying, and say we gotta, you know, evacuate and go, you know, find out shelter, you know, find shelters and stuff like that. That's what they did to us on 13th and 9th, you know what I'm saying. My Uncle Red had tried to fight, you know, for us staying there, you know what I'm saying. He did it before, and we ended up staying there, you know, throughout the whole time, you know what I mean. Some people were staying there for 2 years, you know what I mean. It was just like 4 or 5 tents, you know what I'm saying. Then a lot of people, more people start coming and stuff like that.
Do you think that's going to happen again? Because they're going to shut this down. Do you plan to go to a shelter, or are you going to take your tent and find somewhere else to go?
I plan going to a shelter and getting me housing. I'm tired of living out here on the streets and, you know, just being out here, you know, wearing the same clothes and, you know, gotta ask people for, you know, change to, you know, do my laundry and, you know, change the same clothes. You know, I go to youth link to take showers and stuff like that. Sometimes I, you know, take bird baths, you know, get water and stuff like that, and, you know, take, you know, baths in my room and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So is there a reason, because you saying you want to go to a shelter, is there a reason why you're waiting for the city, or why you haven't decided to do that on your own?
Because I don't got, you know, no type of referral for me to get an ID or, you know, my social security card or my birth certificate, because all of it got, you know, took from me, you know, with all my clothes and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So to 2025, you want to be done with this stuff. You want to have a career, a job, you want to have a family. How you going to do that and accomplish that if you still out here doing the same thing, you know, repeating the same thing over and over and over? You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to have that. You know, I got a son and I can't even see him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he don't even know I'm out here right now. You know what I mean? Like, you know, he's 4 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I haven't seen him since he was 1. So it's hard for me, you know, to think about that. Then my daughter up in the hospital, you know, she got 3rd-degree burns on her back.
What
you know
happened?
what I'm saying? Her, my baby mom's sister tried to, you know, she boiled water on the pot, you know what I mean, and try to pick curls in the back of her hair, you know, whole boiling water, you know, dumped on her back. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, it's a lot on my back. Then my brother named Eric Simmons, he drowned up in Brooklyn Park at the Huntington's place, you know what I'm saying, drowned. You know, and I don't know what was the cause, you know, they say he was sober. I don't know if they say he was, you know, under the influence. But I ain't never got the information back, you know what I mean? But it's just hard for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of deaths that been in my family, you know what I mean? That's hard for, you know what I'm saying? That's really, you know, eat me up. But you know what I'm saying? I can't let that, you know, hold me back, you know what I'm saying? I got to fight for myself, you know, at the same time. But I really want to fight for my son, but I got to fight for myself too, you know what I'm saying? I got to worry about myself at this moment, you know what I mean? To get myself back together and get myself right, you know what I'm saying? To get a job and do things that I want to do in life, you know?
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to share your story. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything I didn't ask you think is important?
Not really much, you know what I'm saying? I just hope everybody, you know, get to where they at, you know what I'm saying, in life, and get back with their kids and, you know, back with their families. And,
All right. We're getting ready to go now live to Georgia Fort, who is on location at the tent encampment there in Minneapolis. And again, this is something that is replicated across the country, without question. Sister Fort, we want to bring you in. Dwayne, if we have her, let's pull her up on the screen. Just tell us what's going on and what you're seeing from your location.
An eviction happening by the city of Minneapolis, as you can see here. Folks who have been staying in tents in this area are being forced out by the city. We've seen, if you look over here, you can see one of the city vehicles there, along with one of the person's belongings. And if you take a look this way, you can see a very large dump truck. They've actually sectioned off quite a bit of the road. You can see all city being pulled that way. We're going to go in. Folks have been staying here pretty much all throughout the summer, and then now that it's October, it is starting to get chilly. We noticed maybe about, I would say, a week ago, the city started putting notices saying that people needed to be out of the area. Let's see, I think maybe this is one of the notices. Notice of vacation, or to vacate. Notice to vacate is what that says, rather. And so those were put up about a week ago. They started asking people to take a look here. And there's two sections to this encampment. There's this one here to be respectful for people's homes, because people do live here. I'm not going to go too much further here. But if you take a look here, you can see in there, you can see that there are several tents, somebody's couch there. People live here. This is where they've been living all throughout the spring and the summer, and now because the city has put up these notices, they're forced to leave. So you see people who are starting to pack up their stuff. Individual here who has a bike trailer, who has been making several trips, I believe, not just of their own belongings, but helping other people pack up their stuff as well. And so we're going to head back this way and try to see if we can talk to anybody in the encampment. I did talk to about 4 people last week to ask them, did they feel like they had gotten sufficient time to move their stuff? Did they feel like the city was working with them to help them provide resources? And for the most part, people did say that they felt like the city was doing the best that they could to connect them with the resources that they need. But then there was a few people who just simply said that they don't plan to leave, that they've been here and they plan to stay here, that this is public property and they don't understand why they have to move in the first place. From the city's perspective, I did speak to a city staff member yesterday off the record because, as I've been sharing, the city of Minneapolis declined my request for an interview. So that makes it hard to report on what resources they're providing because they won't talk to me. But I pulled, it was a brother aside who was working for the city, and I said, listen, I just need to know what are you guys actually doing for the people that you're asking to move? And what he told me, he said that there's 30 rooms for women to move into a shelter. He said that they're providing storage for people's belongings for 14 days. And then he also said that they're working on a contract to be able to provide some people to stay in a hotel until they find shelter, or at least for up to 90 days. So we're going to have a number of people in 90 days. If they don't find shelter, if they don't meet those eligibility requirements, they're going to be right back into that same situation. Now this individual here, he's actually with the National Lawyers Guild. We see them out a lot at times like this, or times during protests to help people with legal aid. But here you have another individual. I'm going to kind of poke around and see if anybody's comfortable talking. Sure. And so, again, not everybody is very open about sharing their experiences. But again, if you take a look over here, you can see the city of Minneapolis is there. Trailers just arrived with a truck full of more city workers. They weren't very transparent about exactly how they're going to be transporting people's things to storage or to a shelter. So potentially that's what this trailer could be for, but we weren't able to verify that information. Ben, I'm going to go ahead and swing things back to you because there's another section of this encampment that's about a half a block away that we're going to head over to. And so when we come back, we're going to be at the other side of this encampment to show you. At the time when I arrived about maybe 10 minutes ago, there was no city workers there, but I did see Public Works drive through. I also saw a few other city marked vehicles drive through, and so potentially they're starting to do the evictions on that side as well. So we'll come back and show you the other side, but for right now I'm going to swing it back to you. And for those of you who are live on this stream natively, is
all right, Georgia, thank you so much. We'll get that update if you don't mind sending that to us. Thank you for the coverage that you're giving us there. I want to swing back to the national coverage because as we look at what's happening there in Minneapolis, we see it happening in California. We see it happening here in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. There are homeless populations that are struggling in the middle of a pandemic, and these homes are now being destroyed. I want to play a clip from Mitch McConnell. This clip is the response to the debt ceiling fight, and it is so important that we understand the games that are being played because these games have actual ramifications. I just want to start this segment by saying there's literally no reason for homelessness to exist in this empire. We have enough empty homes. We have enough wealth. It is a policy decision. And the Republican Party is standing squarely in the way of us getting anything done, let alone actually addressing the problem of homelessness across this country. Listen to Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
The majority needs to stop sleepwalking toward yet another preventable crisis. Democrats need to tackle the debt limit. We gave them a roadmap and 3 months' notice. I suggest that our colleagues get moving.
Get moving. Addressing the debt that was created and exacerbated by Donald Trump underneath your leadership with Paul Ryan with the 2017 tax cuts that ballooned our debt. And now it's the problem of the Democratic Party to fix something that you all created. This is something that we've seen time immemorial. Every single time a Republican government comes in, an administration comes in, they get us into a war, they run up the tab, and then some Democrat comes along and tries to fix it by enacting policies that we have to argue over anyway, because we understand that even those policies that come in Democratic administrations do not address the problems that we're seeing in communities like Minneapolis right now this morning, where families in the middle of a pandemic are struggling to find homes in a country with more homes than homeless people. So while I cannot hold the Democratic Party up to be something that is a chimera, something that we should chase after because they have a lot of work to do, the fact that Mitch McConnell has the nerve, the unmitigated gall to put us on the clock as it pertains to the debt ceiling when he himself created the debt in conjunction with Paul Ryan and Donald Trump, giving away tax breaks to the richest people in this country and corporations. And oh, by the way, some of the very people who have been collecting money from the military industrial complex all along. They're getting richer. They're getting fatter. They're getting wealthier while the American people are struggling. This is a response. This next clip is from Joe Biden. This is his response to all of the arguments over raising the debt ceiling, the infrastructure fight. Let's take a listen to the president.
Your aides have talked about your abilities to be a closer on deals. Why were you unable, Mr. President, to close the deal with members of your own party on key parts of your legislative agenda last week? Thank you.
I've been able to close the deal on 99% of my party. Two people. That's still underway.
Mr. President, you're talking about how you have 48 Democratic votes right now. The other two have been pressured over the weekend by activists. Joe Manchin had people on kayaks show up to his boat to yell at him. Senator Sinema last night was chased into a restroom. Do you think that those tactics are crossing a line?
I don't think they're appropriate tactics, but it happens to everybody. From the only people it doesn't happen to are people who have Secret Service standing around them. So it's part of the process.
The president there, speaking of Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. Kyrsten Sinema was met with protests from her constituents over the weekend, and there's a debate over the tactics. But that's not a debate that I want us to engage in, because the argument really is over Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, who have put themselves squarely in the way of progress along the lines, along the side of the Republican Party. Let's be clear. The people who are supporting Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema in this moment, as we look to the Republican Party to not stand in the way, the fact of the matter is we could do whatever we wanted to do because we have the majorities. And if Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema insist on standing in the way of progress, then we must call them out for what they are. I do not believe that they should be comfortable anywhere they go, whether it be Joe Manchin's yacht or whether it be Kyrsten Sinema's triathlon. Wherever they are representatives of the people, and therefore they should be held accountable to the people. No apologies. Not in a pandemic. Not when so many people are homeless across this country. Not when we are actively working out live coverage to make sure that the voices of unhoused people are heard as they are getting ready to be evicted from what they have. The only thing that they have, their tent encampments. Meanwhile, all of this homelessness across the country could be addressed and resolved with the stroke of a pen, and the kind of money that this government collects from us, and the kind of money that the 1% has been avoiding paying in taxes. We're going to keep an eye on all the things that are coming up in Minneapolis. We're going to hear a little bit more from Georgia Fort as we get connected with her again, and she's giving that coverage. We also are coming up in the next segment. We're going to be speaking with the author of The Brainwashing of My Dad, Jen Senko. It is a phenomenal book that is being released today, and it's based on a documentary that I encourage everyone to get the book as well as a documentary. We'll be speaking with her at 8:45. That said, there are so many issues that we have to cover, so many topics that we have to unpack. But right now, we're out of time. We'll be back with more coverage coming from Minneapolis. Georgia Fort is on location. We're going to keep our eye on that location throughout the rest of the day because we want to make sure that the voices of the people are heard. Because in the midst of all the noise, in the midst of all the arguments, in the midst of all the debates, real life is happening. This may be a game to people like Mitch McConnell. This may be a game to people in power or political leaders. This might not impact them. But rest assured, anybody who is facing the kind of crises that Americans are facing in the middle of this pandemic, this is not a game for them. And so their voices must be amplified. And we have to do more than watch. We have to begin to act. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, more of the Benjamin Dixon Show. We're going to stay connected with Georgia Fort on location. Like it or not, the entire program is coming to you this morning, and we'll be back after this.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's your brother from another mother. Came from the trenches, they ain't showing us no love. Good morning, everybody. When it was a hug, yeah. We on the block like every night to catch a buzz. Get the cash and take my family out the hood, that's a must. Good baby with no soldiers. Bad past never left my mind, it's taking over.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You know the voice, you know the sound. Good morning, y'all.
Crazy what we been through. When you die, the only time that they gon' miss you. Tell my mama no more tears, no more tissue.
Shout out everybody. Good morning, y'all.
Baby from the struggle. Long time had a hustle. Glad we made it through. I'm just glad we made it through. Baby from the struggle. Long time had a hustle.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tiger. Good morning, Somalia. Tiger. Promises manifest as truth. The Dragon, the Pioneer, Esther Brochen. Good morning, y'all.
Either they love me or I'm a target.
Shout out to Facebook who lost $6 billion yesterday. Ooh. God damn.
Anything that you need, dog, I got
you. You went down that long, you lost $6 billion. Good morning, y'all. Alicia, good morning. Blue Daddy, on and on it goes. Carly Wynn, Lauren Strada, good morning, y'all.
Step it up, I gotta be that. Cause
status report. Right, then.
I'ma love you way before I gotta miss you.
Brenda Johnson, good morning. Ill Hustler. Pioneer Sophia. Hey, Sophia. Marsha Reese, good morning. Brother Chuck Diesel. Good morning, Deb. Good morning to you, Nikki. Good morning. All right, Nikki. Let me cry for success. Oh, boy, Zuckerberg. You can lose $6 billion, man. Shoot me like 1,000. I'll be, no, I need more than that. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We got more coming up next on the Benjamin Dixon Show, man. You don't want to miss it today. Good show. Y'all don't want to miss it. Y'all stay tuned. Existential dread. Good morning. What a day to be alive. Amen to that. Good morning again, y'all. Good morning. Melanie, good morning. It's Truth the Dragon. It's season 2. That's why. Season 2. You gotta go big or go home. Okay, though. Good morning. That's right. Captain America's in the building. Y'all just wait till Halloween got dog it. Brother Lateef, good morning, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Good morning for everybody that's checking us out. Crazy. I can't say that. Please stop it. Good morning,
I think tonight I'm gonna make it mine. I stepped out, stepping on next. Little baddie, cashing big checks. I bought the whole block out, now that's a big flex. Peeping out my Uber window, like what's next? Got new levels and new devils out the wazoo. Ain't no worries, life gets better when you find you. And if you mind you, peace will abide and hide you until it's time to start anew. So live it up, we grown, ain't got no curfew. Who brought the bad vibes? Tell that bitch move. Walking all in my inner, that's
Iris Jones, good morning to you.
Mad that I survived all your sad attempts to send me to the sky. But I've been in the wind, been had wings, I was always this fly.
Good morning, Mama and Daddy. Love you. Good morning, Mama and Daddy. Good morning, Q. Love you.
So get glad, find out why you sad. All that jealousy, you should subside. I think it's time to turn that mirror on you. Put it up close for a clear view. And look deep down inside. And soon you will find a pretty soul that needs more shine. My world has come together.
Lily, good morning. Infinite Content, what's going on, brother? Good morning.
It's no good or better. I think tonight.
Truth the Dragon, I think it might be you.
1, 2, me
Australia.
Right hook. Come and test me, my mom deep will have you shook. It's a marathon, but baby girl, never let up. No need for speed, but keep your foot up.
Brandy, good morning.
Ain't worry about
Iris, good morning. You better dance
when
in the
God
office.
made me to be an ice cold meadow. Why are you always pressing
Roller Dragon, good morning. Starshine Song, what's going on? Good morning.
Have you seen it like the shine lights? You tried, but you could never dim my light. Please know I'm untouchable girl.
Roller Dragon, please don't step in the keyboard.
Why you wanna turn a good
all right, y'all, it's time to get back to the show, y'all. Welcome back to the screen. My brother from another mother, Dwayne, roll that intro. Benjamin Dixon, let's
go. You in a big world of danger, cause you dwell in that drama.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. Welcome back to the Benjamin Dixon Show. I'm joined by DJ Exclusive on the ones and twos. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, sir. Looking at this camera going through different lighting phases over here. It seems like I'm in the Matrix, but it's okay. Good morning, brother Ben. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, man. We are still connected with Georgia Fort, who is on location, who's covering the homeless encampment that is getting ready to be evicted today in Minneapolis. And James, like, you know, you've seen it here in Atlanta. It's like it's almost like every city's best kept secret or worst kept secret is the homeless populations. But like, I mean, they're here in Atlanta too.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, man. And that's just sucks to hear, especially like today, you know, here in Atlanta, it's raining. I think it's raining the whole week. So it's just like now what happens to those people that are out there? I know at one point under 20 East, once it merges on the 75 South going on, there used to be a homeless encampment right there that tents, everything set up. It was like a small tent city. Now that they've put boulders and rocks there, I guess, to stop them from trying to sleep right there. But people get creative and they still sleep. They find any type of way. But, you know, my heart goes out to them because now here it is, it's raining and they have nowhere to go. Homeless shelters are being overrun and overcrowded and they only have so many spaces. So it really sucks.
Yeah. And in the middle of a pandemic, no less.
In the middle of a pandemic, man.
That's the thing. That's the insult to injury. Dwayne, do we have Georgia? Do we have her on location still? Okay, we're gonna bring Georgia back into the conversation because we want to keep our eye. That encampment, that specific encampment, is scheduled to be demolished and evicted today, and that's why we're bringing live coverage of that because. I mean, what else are we going to use our platform for if not to fight for the people? You know what I mean, James?
Absolutely.
In the meantime, while we get reconnected with Sister Porter, actually, there she is. She's on location. And, you know, if she's giving us some narration at this point. Yeah.
It is really, really difficult. I think Ben Dixon is picking up our feet again. And so here, if you can see here, there are some community vehicles that are here to help. Police have arrived on the scene. You can see on the other side of the median. But yeah, this is really difficult because it is literally an encampment that is formed on a median, and if you take a look over here under a bridge, there are a few tents under the bridge as well. And so we spoke with one of the residents who is actually living under the bridge there in that tent. But police have arrived on the scene here. You can see over there, and maybe just for the vehicle, which I realize may have been the vehicle of the person who was helping me out this morning. But yeah, there are a number of city workers. There's also some individuals who are from community organizations, you can see there in the orange, who have come out to help. When I've covered these evictions in the past, typically you do see a number of folks who want to come out and who want to help. When I published the interviews of the 4 individuals that I spoke with who were living here last week, that's a lot of the feedback I got was, hey, what can we do to help? What support can be provided? And if you heard the interview I did earlier with Deanna, who says that, you know, her husband passed away, and that's part of the reason why it's been hard for her is because she's battling depression and substance abuse. And so she's in a position where she's trying to find housing. She said she wants to go to a women's shelter, and she said she does feel like the city gave her adequate time and has tried to connect her with resources. And so I do think that that is reassuring to hear, but it doesn't really minimize the trauma that people have to deal with, who are already dealing with a lot, and then they are now facing another level of displacement. So that here, that's another city truck that is circling the area. It's a pretty big perimeter. For those of you who have been on with us from the beginning, this is an encampment that spans from right here at Cedar and Franklin, and you go up here on top of the hill. There's about another 24 tents there, and if you head about a block over underneath the 94 bridge, there is about another 12 or 2 tents over there. And so this is a pretty large encampment. Some of the tents have left. When we came here last week to do interviews with the residents, we saw this space here, you can see, is cleared out. That space there is cleared out as well. There were tents covering this entire median area, and so people have been moving out, but as you can see, there's still quite a few tents here, and so some folks have said that they plan to stay. I was hoping to bump into some of the residents I spoke to last week. I'm not seeing them, and also trying to be respectful that some people really don't want to be on camera today. People don't want to talk today. Today is a traumatic day. A lot of emotions coming up from having to pack up and move again. A lot of emotions coming up with having to part ways with your community, the only community that you know. But you can see city vehicles have now parked here. A very interesting, I would say, tactic that we're seeing from the city of Minneapolis, which is different than what we've seen in the past. In the past, we've seen them bring out bulldozers. We've seen them bring out even police officers to help clear this area out, and we're not seeing that this morning, so it looks like they're taking a different approach. You can see down here there is a few individuals from different community organizations who are trying to connect individuals with services. And so I saw that when I was here last time as well. Individuals out here passing out water, passing out food. In fact, under this bridge here, I don't think it's there anymore, but when I was here last week, there was actually a little bit of a kitchenette where people would come and drop off food. And so from the individuals I spoke to, they told me that there's always food here, that, you know, people come and drop off clothes and food, and so they feel like they really have everything that they need. We're seeing more vehicles pull up that are not not necessarily city trucks. They're not dump trucks either. So we'll have to kind of wait and watch to see what their role is going to be in all of this. Or just saw 2, it looks like Sunbelt trucks pull up.
Georgia, I'm going to jump in there, and we're going to stay connected with you. Yes. Okay. Georgia, thank you for that ongoing coverage. James, I mean, honestly, that looked like it could be, I-20. You know what I mean? That looks like it could be the highways, in the I-10 corridor, underneath the bridge, the different bridges across the I-10 corridor, man. It looks just like some places I've seen in Boston. Every city that I have ever been to, I've seen homeless encampments of some size and some scale. Right.
Absolutely, man. And you're right. This looks like, let's be honest, every city in America. Unfortunately.
Every city in a nation that has money, it's got money. This country got there's so much money being circulated around right now that they're doing these things. You could probably tell me more about it than me, James. These non-fungible tokens, right? These NFTs that people are spending. Like they have so much money that they have to get creative as it pertains to how they spend their money.
And creating their own currency.
Right. But we're, as a nation who can spend trillions upon trillions of dollars in war and an economy that's so flush with money that they don't even know what to do with it, we can't even address the underlying issues such as homelessness. Like that to me is, and my son, man, we got to fix these things for the next generation because they're asking questions earlier. My son, when he was like 6 years old, or I think it was about 8, and we were driving around Atlanta and we saw the homelessness, and he was just like, why? He's like, why is that? He just didn't understand, like, why is that even a thing? Honestly, I don't have a good answer for him, except for we obviously just don't care as a nation.
And that's unfortunate. That's real unfortunate, because the youth notice these things. They really do, and they ask these questions, and it's unfortunate we don't have the answer for that. Yeah, we don't. Well, coming up in the Like It or Not hour, we're going to be discussing Facebook shutting down yesterday for what seemed like eternity. And it was shut down long enough, as you saw on the screen earlier, James. Mark Zuckerberg lost about $6 billion yesterday. $6 billion. With a B. With a B. Listen, I know we're streaming on Facebook right now, but if he could have lost $100 billion, I would love to see Facebook stay down. I hate to be that kind of person. So anyway, he's still the 5th richest person in the world, and Facebook is back up, and so everyone can relax. You can get back to sharing your memes and your conspiracy theory videos. I digress. And your misinformation.
And your white supremacist groups.
Oh my God, man.
And all the church videos. Hey, does Mama Gwen share church videos? Because my mama
doesn't share church videos. Mama share everything. Church videos, hood stuff, ratchet stuff. Mama be all over the place. Bible verses. Oh man. Listen, and then if I know Mama Gwen, well, she probably sent some twerk videos to you if you let her. So. Yeah. Listen, we're going to take a quick break before I get in trouble with Mama Gwen and my mama. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Jen Senko about the brainwashing of her dad that took place courtesy of the propaganda machine that props up this empire. James, give us a quick song when we come back with more of the Benjamin Dixon Show. All right, y'all, make sure that you stay tuned. Good interview coming up next that you do not want to miss. Stay tuned, man. Good morning again, everybody.
You can't break my focus. All I got right now is attention. Give me the divine intervention. Hey, you done got me started. Every day is just the beginning. Ticket to the bank, now I'm winning. Call me crazy, tell me lies. It won't stop me, watch me rise. No more anchors holding me down. All I need is more.
good morning, brother. Jimmy Hall, good morning.
Every time I dream, I catch it. I know how to make it happen, but I
Juanita, good morning.
every mountain, keep both eyes on the
Courtney, the SLP, good morning.
Nothing's gonna tell me to stop. Oh, push me through the
Courtney,
fire.
B as in Beyonce.
The heat burning underneath of my feet. Ooh, so call me crazy, tell me lies. It won't stop me, watch me rise. No more anchors holding me down. All I need
Uneasy, good morning.
one more hour, one more minute, one more chance for me to win it. Yeah, every time I dream, I catch it. I know how to make it happen, but I want more.
Oh, Tiger said, hey, Bubba, are y'all going to touch on how Facebook seemingly went down because of a whistleblower so they could delete incriminating data? 9 times out of 10, yes. Thank you for your super chat, Tiger. Nicole Howe, good morning.
All I need is more, more, more. All I need is all I need is all I need is all I need. All I need is all I need. All I need is
Oh my God! I'm like, Courtney, you talking about Beyonce? No, Courtney. No, this is not me though.
every time I dream, I catch it. I know how to make it happen, but I want more.
Danielle Nabiqua. I gotta get that clip. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the screen. My brother from another mother and my coffee break. Benjamin Dixon, y'all. Welcome back, brother.
James, go get your coffee, man. We appreciate you, what you're doing. I'm excited for this next interview. I want to bring to the screen Jen Senko. She is the author of the book that is being released today, The Brainwashing of My Dad. And I got out of my seat to go get my copy. And she is a documentarian. The book is based on the documentary of the same name, The Brainwashing of My Dad. Jen Senko, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
The pleasure is ours. Can you give the audience, because the title says it all, but could you just give us the elevator pitch of how we should understand what happened to your dad and how you successfully, your family, brought him back from the brink?
I saw a radical change begin to happen in my dad, and I had a bad feeling about it. So a lot of this was intuitive. When he retired, he got a part-time job, had a very long commute to work, and to keep himself company, he started listening to talk radio. Talk radio is still 97% right wing. I don't want to say conservative. Conservative. We wish it was conservative. It's not. It's right wing. So he started with Bob Grant, who was openly racist and sexist, and Bob Grant was just a horrible person. He actually called Martin Luther King a slime ball. So my dad, he was thinking like, this is news, this is educational, it's somebody talking, I'll listen to it. And very gradually he began to change. And, first he was just crankier. And then once he fully retired and he liked the talk radio thing, he found Rush Limbaugh. And then he really drastically changed. And what was so alarming about that was that it wasn't just his politics, it was his personality. He became angry and started hating Democrats. Democrats were vilified, and part of Democrats were women, African Americans, immigrants. That was all part of the Democratic group. But the main group, the umbrella, was Democrats. Everything he heard was aimed at them. And this was because of the Republicans' design to have one-party rule. And that's what made me want to watch the movie, make the movie, because I started studying this, and I wasn't interested in politics before. I was always interested in the influence of media in a way, like in a personal way. And so, the whole family saw him change, and all the time, like, I'm kind of researching, and I found this video, this movie called The Hunting of the President. And in it, David Brock actually admits that there was a vast right-wing conspiracy, and he was part of it.
Jen, I want to jump in there because for people who have not seen the documentary, and I do recommend that they go see the documentary, but also the book, because you methodically broke down the creation, the motivation, and the long-term strategy of the people who created this right-wing machine, media machine, the Rush Limbaughs. You trace it all the way back to the Nixon administration, and help us to understand the forces that are behind this propaganda machine that brainwashed your father.
Actually, after the movie, as you can tell in the book, I go back even further. I go back to FDR, when the oligarchs started getting really pissed off. Can I say that?
Yes, that's
sorry, Mama. They started getting angry, but, there were no plans made. And then in the 50s, 1954, Brown v. Board of Education happened. And there was this economist, James McGill Buchanan, who was like, I don't want us paying taxes for, kids to go to school, especially African-American kids. We want to keep them down because they're Democrats. And he and the Kochs got together. And then before long, there was the Birch Society, which came out, which had a very extreme platform. No Social Security, no government safety net, anything like that. And that at the time, that was considered kooky, even by Republicans. And but what happened is Goldwater actually adopted that plan. And then in 1964, when he lost, the pundits declared the right is dead. Everybody wanted to be a liberal. It was cool. And that's when they started planning. Well, first they thought, okay, it must be the media, because the media was painting an accurate picture. It was Walter Cronkite, Uncle Walter, and that didn't look good. So they decided that they were going to create this group, AIM, AIM. I guess I'm going off on a tangent, but anyway, that's where it started, to discredit the media as liberal. So that's where the seeds were planted. And then Nixon, yes, he took it a step further, but when he met Roger Ailes, that was a pair made in hell. Because Roger...
Wait a minute. Can you mind if I interject there? Because that's an important name that I think a lot of people... We're talking about Richard Nixon and Roger Ailes, the creator, or rather the... what is Roger Ailes' position at Fox News? I know he's not there anymore. I know he's dead now. But he is basically the father of Fox News.
Yeah, he is the brains behind it. And this is what is important. And people don't know this, that back then in the Nixon era, there was actually a memo about how to get positive GOP news on TV. And it pretty much was the blueprint for Fox News. So people who say Fox wasn't always bad or partisan, that's not true. Because his goal was to turn viewers into Republicans. And it wasn't as extreme back then, but you push the envelope and you keep pushing the envelope and it becomes extreme because people get numb to what they see, and they're feeding on that anger. The same thing with the Facebook and the algorithms being saved. I remember when I said anger was addictive, people were like, no, people don't want to be angry. or fearful. And then I said, well, look at horror movies. Why do people go to horror movies? To become scared. People like righteous movies where they get angry and then it's solved. So what Fox did was create a victim mentality, but then provide this safety net and a tribe for those people to go to.
Jen, so now we see, so the roots go far back beyond Richard Nixon, but we see a flashpoint with Richard Nixon and Roger Ailes, the father of Fox News, creating a memo and a strategy that they have successfully executed ever since. I mean, methodically. They created in your book, you talk about all of the different think tanks that get billions of dollars, and they begin to fund all of this quote unquote research, ultimately resulting in what most people really sit back and consider to be news. They listen to Rush Limbaugh and they thought that it was news. They watch Fox News and they actually think that it's news. And this changed fundamentally your father from what you described as a loving, open, accepting. And you said he was almost, at a certain point, he was an aspiring hippie kind of. He had a little.
Definitely, he was like the first hippie.
And they changed him from that into what you said was a brainwashed right-wing ideologue over years of just listening to it on the radio, riding in the car. I think everyone listening can identify with that. How did you all bring him back from the brink?
Well, I have to give most of the credit to my mom and a little bit of luck. They moved to a senior community in 2010. And somehow, in the move, the radio got broken. So the radio went in the garage, and my dad was planning on fixing it. But it kind of like broke that habit, and he started eating lunch with my mother again. And then he would just watch whatever she watched. And then the TV broke, so she had to buy another TV, and she loves programming, remotes and stuff. That's her thing. But there's still all these stickies all over the notes. And so he would just watch what she watched. Then one time he got pretty ill with a kidney stone, and he had to go to the hospital for a week. And back then he had like clunky computers and his email was piling up. And she asked me, will you delete some of his email? I said, Mom, it just keeps coming. She got on there and unsubscribed him from a lot of these emails and started subscribing him to alternative media like Truth Out, Truth Digs, Center, Left, whatever. And one day he said to her, Obama's a good guy. I kind of like him.
Wow. After you unplugged him after your mom, shouts out to that intervention and the universe intervening with the broken radio. But once he was disconnected from all the propaganda, you got your dad back.
Oh my God, and even better.
That is amazing. The name of the book is The Brainwashing of My Dad. The documentary is of the same name. And I just want to read your dedication at the beginning of the book. You said, for my dad and my country. Jen Senko, thank you so much for this book and the documentary.
Thank you so much for having me, Benjamin. And thank you for what you do.
The pleasure is ours. Dwayne, I want to shift back. If I'm not mistaken, they are actually starting to bulldoze the homeless encampment there in Minneapolis. If we have footage or if Georgia is live, I want to go there before we take a break because I don't want us to miss what's actually happening on the ground. Let me know what we have, and if you want to just pull it up, we'll follow your lead on that. Okay. All right, so we're going to be joined back, James and the whole team. We're going to be joined back with Georgia momentarily. And so what we're going to do then instead, let's take a quick break. When we come back, and as soon as we have the coverage, we're going to interrupt our break to make sure that we see what's happening there in Minneapolis. But this is real-time coverage of real people's lives being impacted by the decisions of our elected officials. And if I'm not mistaken, we're not going to break. We're going straight there. Let's bring it up. Okay, let's do it. Georgia, you there? All right, Georgia, we're bringing you on now. Tell us what you're seeing and what's happening. Okay.
There was a notice that was given for people to vacate within a week. Today was their deadline by 7 a.m. And now we're seeing their belongings be removed by City of Minneapolis employees. And so if you take a look over here, there's still a number of tents. I want you guys to come away from this. You can see that there's still a number of tents that are here. You can see the bulldozer there placing belongings into the dump truck. And city workers here, these are City of Minneapolis employees who have been tasked with the job of removing people's belongings. We were told by some of the city employees that were here yesterday, they came, they set up a tent. I guess I'm going to get bulldozed if I don't get out of the way. We were told by City of Minneapolis employees yesterday that they were trying to connect people to resources, they were trying to put people in shelter, but what we've learned, if you look, a lot of these individuals are individuals who do not want to go to a shelter for whatever reason. I've spoken to a lot of people who have said, you know, that they had a bad experience at a shelter, and now if you look over here, because they have decided that they don't want to go to a shelter, that a shelter is not the place for them, their belongings are being thrown away. I did hear from one of the city employees that they would store people's stuff for up to 14 days, but that if it, you know, again, if they don't move it in 14 days, and there's a limited amount of stuff that they can store. And so what we've seen, what we've observed is that there is a cycle that every few months they come, they clear these encampments out, there's not permanent resources put in place, and so because the problem isn't necessarily solved, then we find ourselves in this situation just a few months later. And so this is the part that's very hard to see, is that people didn't get connected to resources or didn't like the resources that people were trying to connect them to. And now as a result, the few belongings that they do have is being thrown away. And what we heard from one of the organizers is that you know, she's come out here, she's tried to work with people, and she feels like this is not a great allocation of resources, that if these same resources went into providing treatment or mental health services, that potentially we would be not in this cycle again in 60 or 90 days. And so, as many of you know, we spoke with a number of the residents here, and it's okay. We spoke to a number of the residents here. We're trying to get the best coverage, document what's happening, but then also stay out the way, so it's a little bit of a juggle here. But yeah, when I spoke to residents here last week, they were saying that they did feel like the 7 days was adequate time for them to find resources. However, some of them just didn't want to leave, that this gives them a sense of community, and now that sense of community that they had is being bulldozed. And so it is very, very difficult when you get to know the people here. Deanna, who we spoke with earlier, she's a widow. Her husband died, and so she's not only battling homelessness and trying to overcome that, but she's battling depression, and she's trying to cope with her grief. And so when you're, you know, juggling these things, and when you get to know people's stories, I think it humanizes the people who have chosen to live in tents, when sometimes there's people in community who likes to ostracize them or make them seem like they're less than human. These are human beings who have complex identities and complex situations. A father who we spoke to, who's only 25 years old, who has 2 children, hasn't seen his children in years, wants to go to treatment and wants to be able to reconnect with his kids. And so I think it's important to not only humanize the people who are living here, but be critical about the way in which we come and allocate city funds to relocate people, you know. And so yeah, I understand for some people who are saying the criminal activity that's taken place here, you know, obviously that's not a good thing, but when we see this happen every 3 to 6 months, obviously this isn't a permanent solution either. And so I think it's important that we continue to have this conversation about how we're dealing with folks who do not have permanent homes to live in our communities.
Georgia, thank you so much for this coverage, and I know you're going to stay there, so we're going to keep an eye on you. Y'all be safe out there, James. I'm like, my anxiety was going up as she was, those trucks were coming around her. Yeah,
I was about to make a trip. Because that bulldozer got real close to my sister, and I was about to make a trip.
And bro, I don't know if I like the tone. I felt like I heard somebody's tone just be inappropriate with our sister.
Inappropriate.
Like, I just feel like next time we're gonna make sure we have some security detail out there, so that her husband don't have to pull up and lay hands. Right. Let's go to a quick break. When we come back, like it or not, Rebecca Zor, we got to discuss Facebook. We got to discuss Project Veritas. There's so much is happening around us, and we're gonna stay connected with Georgia Ford as she is on location. DJ exclusive. It's in your hands. We'll be back with Like It or Not right after this.
Well, it might help if I mute my channel, y'all. 1 second. Boom.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do.
All right, y'all. Make sure that stay tuned. We got more coming up. More coming up next on the Benjamin Dixon Show. Like that, Rebecca Azor with Queen Azor. Coming up next week. Shout out to Georgia Fort, Georgia. Please be safe out there, Georgia.
Down in the city, there's a place that never sleeps. You can see it all. 57th Street. Music is hot and the drinking there is free. It'll turn you upside down before you count to 3. You're looking for a helping hand. You need a friendly face. Feeling good, you can barely stand. You're falling all over the place.
Right, Mama. Mama said homeless people aren't just drug addicts, and I think that is a common misconception. A lot of stuff happens that we don't know about that these homeless people go through.
They flown it, you bought it. Ow! Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you
Okay, cool. All right.
Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. Columbus Avenue. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. Columbus Avenue. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. You're looking for a helping hand. You need a friendly face. Feeling good, you can barely stand. You're falling all over
real
the
quick.
place.
I almost forgot this.
You're looking for a helping hand. You need a friendly face. Feeling good, you can barely stand.
Real quick, while we got time, we'll go ahead and get our new Twitch subscribers and new Patreon members read off before we get into the next song. Nick E has resubscribed to the Patreon. Nick E, welcome. You get to hear the exclusive remix to Like It or Not. New Twitch subscribers, we have Chick who resubscribed and commented, good morning. They have been subscribed for over 6 months now. Brown Coat Blue resubscribed. Sis Q Cat resubscribed and commented, Grand Rising, beautiful people. They've been subscribed for 13 months. Shout out Sis Q Cat. Good morning to you. Sis Q Cat gifted 1 community subscription as well. Jam Tune gifted a subscription to Barkley T, and Jam Tune also gifted 2 community subscriptions as well. Shout out to Jam Tune. That's my sister. Love her, mean it. Thank you, Jam Tune. Barkley T gifted 1 community subscription. I just love this community. Y'all be gifting stuff. Can you have somebody give me something? No? Okay, cool. The Chicken Fried Dragon gifted a subscription to the Emo Dragon, Mute Francis, Dendar Boulevard, Game Set John, Action Jackson, and Wilco 93 plus. Excuse me. Thank y'all. Michael McAllister Zero gifted a subscription to Lucid Fox. J.N. Lee 1981 gifted 5 community subscriptions. Y'all just in a giving ass mood. I love this. I love to see it. Subscriber and fellow content creator Lost Sue rated us with a party of 38 viewers. God dang it. Lost Sue. Shout out to you, man. You the real one. That's love for real. And then Sis Q Cat also cheered 100 bits, man. Twitch community, y'all be doing the thing, man, and I appreciate y'all to death. Shout out to everybody that's on Twitch, man. We're gonna get into one more song, and then we're gonna get into Like It or Not. So y'all stay tuned. I guess this is the funk portion of the show. This is just for being y'all. I'll still think about it.
Okay, we can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
When you're so salty, I'll still think about it.
We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show.
I'll put on a tight show.
You sure you can handle?
You sure you can handle?
We be faster than Django.
What did she say? Did she say something about shutting out Django? What's going on?
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't
One
stop,
Source
won't
production
stop.
it does.
Can't stop.
So salty.
You sure you can handle? Okay. We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show.
Shout out Chuck Diesel.
You can handle? We be faster than Django.
Sylvia Jones, good morning.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop.
Kelly Logain. Gain? Good morning, Kelly. He's good morning.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Six Dragon Daddy, good morning. Brother Goku, good morning to you.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop.
It's Tuesday, but here's your snippet. Okay.
I know what time it is.
Yeah, don't worry. It's just a snippet, so you know.
Get your coffee, your tea, drink whatever it is you need.
Let's see how much we're gonna get them today. We're gonna mute this part right here. Yeah, just mute it. There we go.
Politics and culture is we change skin like we're supposed to, yeah.
All right, y'all. That is all y'all get of the Like It or Not remix. You have to become a Patreon to hear it if you want to hear it this morning in the after party. You can patreon.com/LikeItOrNot, patreon.com/LikeItOrNot, or patreon.com/the BPD show, and you can hear the exclusive remix to Like It or Not. Until then, y'all get the regular boy version, which we'll get ready to play once we get ready to come into Like It or Not. So anywho, here's some more good jams, man. We just waiting on our sister to join, and we'll get it. Y'all stay tuned. Wednesday, I'll play it Wednesday, but I'll play it tomorrow for y'all to the public. Tomorrow my off day, huh? We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. We'll see. Laura Estrada.
Yeah, trying to get the green like it's Whole Foods. Couldn't take my style and now you so blue. Yeah, we don't even know you. Your hometown, we don't need go to. Trying to get it worldwide, global. Looking like a show, you been killing this is go-to. Skrilla, the whole man killer. Life so free, can't no man kill 'em. Came from the bottom, was a broke man, girl. Still move like 10 man with no found window. Boom, pardon me, I get
Samaya, I know, right? Don't let him wake you up on your day off. Top Ben is gonna be the first one. He gonna call me about 7 o'clock. I'm gonna have a text message saying, Bubba, man, I need you, bro. Okay, man.
I should probably expect this. Too much game for your league. I'm Hussein with Steve on Hussein on beats. Legendary of everything you aim to be. I'm insane and free. You can't tame the beast.
Okay, cool. So that way I can go ahead and play the song.
Just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me. Friend me, enemy. All these just wanna be a mini me. All these just
all right, cool.
wanna be a mini me. All these just
All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. I've been told I'm going to hell for this song. I'm like, it's okay. It's a vacation there. Well, real talk, like listening to this version or listening to the remix version that I did, I really cleaned the hell up out of these vocals. I appreciate that. I did pretty good, damn good. I'm gonna toot my own horn, toot toot. It's going down. Like it or not, just stick around. Oh, Rebecca's on. Ben, bro, you remember the roll that Cook used to do? You know she got a story for us. Oh, Benjamin is coming through. That's mine. Cam, see what's going on, brother Cam. All through and through. Oh, I am your DJ exclusive. Y'all know who I am. I stay in the chat room. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not. Here we go, Dwayne. It's about to go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. Grr, Rebecca.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it. It's so funny. It's so funny because y'all really just be starting when I come on.
We just be waiting for your ass. Listen. Okay, wait.
Like,
turn your mic. Move your mic a little closer, so I can hear you a little bit better.
Y'all will literally drag it because I see y'all was having audio problems this morning. So let me not. So
how you gonna come on here critiquing our audio?
Don't come on here calling me out, man.
Yeah,
you late.
But y'all be dragging it.
She coming here talking about our audio and she late.
I be like, let me hurry up and get this lash on, and then look, y'all just be. I'm like, oh my god, let me hurry up. But yeah,
I'd be over here filibustering more than Joe Manchin trying to make sure that you get here.
Y'all be doing things. But thank you for waiting.
So can I relax now? You're at the helm, Captain. Where are we going?
Am I? Actually, so this morning, don't be doing that to me because I take it somewhere. I don't think it's appropriate for acting.
No. Let's take it to Facebook. Whoa. No.
So yesterday, you saying let's take it to Facebook. Yesterday, nobody could take anything to Facebook, WhatsApp, or Instagram. We spent hours yesterday morning. Yesterday from the morning to about, I guess, right before the evening, early evening, nobody had any Instagram, Facebook, or WhatsApp.
I know you were struggling.
So I wasn't struggling. And that's the funny thing about it. You know, I have another job that takes up my time that I need to work. And yes, I'd be on social media, but it's funny because I try to utilize the first part of my morning by not being on social media. And then, just doing something for me. But it was the fact that in the times that I do check and, be on social media or see if that man has looked at my story so I could delete it, because that's the only reason why I posted it. I just was like, dang, I can't get on. That's crazy. I can't get on. And then I was like, maybe something's going on, but I didn't even bother with it anymore, right? So now my sister's running up my phone. She was like, girl, I can't get on social media. What's going on? Is it my internet? My internet's not working. I can't save your life. Like, I don't know. sis, and I had to tell her, hey, it's down. Well, how you know it's down? Because Twitter told me. Oh, I don't really have Twitter like that. So you saying that it's Instagram and what's that?
is down because I can't even do Facebook.
They couldn't even get into their buildings at Facebook.
You couldn't even. That's crazy because you could. At the time, those social media channels were. You couldn't even find them on the internet. You would put in Facebook.com. Nothing. It's like, it would say, is this the right website? Because there's nothing coming up for it. Instagram, same thing. WhatsApp, we know there was nothing going on WhatsApp. And but for me, it was the craziness that we did yesterday. Like I'll include myself into that because I am part of the people, and how everyone just really couldn't just sit down and literally just take a breather, look at the sky, go take your children to bath, go feed them kids, literally take care of yourself, brush your teeth. Like everybody had to go over to Twitter and get a fix. We all went over to Twitter to get our social media fix so we can be a part of the conversation so that we can say too, hey, y'all Instagram down too? We already see everybody on the timeline talking about it. Everybody on the timeline. But it was such a moment yesterday, and I think
just figured I forgot to pay my bill. I thought hey.
Everybody. People were restarting the router yesterday so many times.
I was about to say, because I know I went on there and I'm just like, dang, my phone off? And I'm like, let me go ahead and turn the Wi-Fi off. I'm like, okay, LT.
Let me call somebody.
And I so did. I'm like, let me call this 1-800 number real quick. Okay, it worked. I'm like, wait a minute, but somebody just texted me a couple of minutes. I'm like, okay, it must be now.
I did the
cool.
same thing yesterday.
Imagine if it was down, y'all, for literally the entire day or maybe 2 weeks. What would the world do? Some people were saying that they've never worked the way that they did. They've never literally gotten to the point of the day where, wow, all my work is done, because they weren't spending time scrolling through social media or having to put what the hell they ate on Instagram. Yes, it's fun, it's great. But the fact that, look, really yesterday you can really sit down and be like, damn.
What do I do with all this time?
I don't have to work, take care of your kids. Call somebody.
Take care of them damn kids.
Finally put the groceries in the fridge. Go get those bottles of water out of the car and bring them inside the house.
Wait.
Fold your damn clothes. Fold the clothes. Fold your clothes up.
Out my pocket. Wait a minute.
I got clothes that's been in that basket for the longest. Fold your clothes.
Towards that time, Rebecca, where you can leave water bottles in the car and come back 3 days later and they be ice cold to drink them.
And it be cold.
Go get your water bottles out of the car. I live on the top floor, and they decided because of COVID not to put elevators in our building. So I'm like, dang, I have to go up by myself all the time.
That's why they didn't put elevators in the building?
That 24 pack of water is going to stay there until I feel like going to get it. No.
This how I go. Rebecca, you're going to be out somewhere running. You're going to open up. You're going to have a 12-pack by the time you take it upstairs. It ain't going to be
That's true. I do open it up and leave a few in the car. I always do that when I go running, and I'll have that. But that like literally. And, sometimes I want to be cute. And, when I come from my workout, I put it on my shoulder like that there. And then I'll go up the stairs. But no, honey, it's been, I'm like 24 pack.
So in the midst of all that happened yesterday, Jeff Zuckerberg, they're the same. Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg lost $6 billion.
Was it 6 or 7?
I heard 6.
Let's round up to 7.
I heard it was 7.
All right, we're going to round up. He lost 7. And I guess I shouldn't take so much joy, but when you consider what Facebook has done to our parents, to our aunties and them, to the country. The reason we have Facebook, the reason we had a Donald Trump presidency, it can be linked back to Facebook. The Cambridge Analytica story from years ago, where Facebook provided Donald Trump with all the data he would ever need to micro-target and get elected. And so I'm sorry, I don't want to take joy in his demise, but I don't think people like that who have that much power and have the ability to look at all. I mean, they know literally everything that we do. They listen to every goddamn conversation. I can't order a Corona without getting a commercial for Corona on my Instagram feed. So I'm sorry if I feel. I
can't think about like Haitian rum. I'm talking Haitian rum, something I don't even see on my feed. If I even think about Haitian rum, it's popping up on my stuff.
Wait, Rebecca, you escalated now. I didn't know they had telepathy.
They do, Ben. I'm telling you.
they're reading your, no,
I'm
they're
dead-
reading
I'm
your
being
algorithm.
So serious. I'm not
They're
even
reading
being a
your data.
conspiracy theorist. Like literally, I can be thinking about something, and or placing my finger over my phone or on the computer and like typing one letter. The thing that I was thinking about is going to pop up. It is
Predictive
so
analytics.
annoying. Like I'm like, in the name of Jesus, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like really scary sometimes because you're like, man, how did this pop up? I was just thinking about it. I didn't search for anything, but here it is. It's on my goddamn screen. What's going on? Okay, cool.
They know everything about us. They know more about us. It's Skynet.
Squid Games.
Well, listen, I want to play this clip. I want to dig into this leak. There was a leak, a whistleblower from Facebook who kind of, and it's funny, all this is happening at the same time. So at the same time, there's a whistleblower who's telling us how bad it actually is at Facebook. The next day, Facebook got shut down and they couldn't even get into their offices. And Mark Zuckerberg lost about $7 billion. Here's a clip of Kara Swisher. She's speaking on Meet the Press. And she is talking about how Facebook is, quote, amplifying and weaponizing hate. Social media is not, quote, precisely cigarettes. It's also gambling and it's also opiates. That's why everybody couldn't walk away yesterday. Let's run that clip.
Here's what Nick Clegg's statement, just a part of it, said. The suggestion that is sometimes made that the violent insurrection on January 6th would not have occurred if it was not for social media is so misleading. Mature democracies in which social media use is widespread hold elections all the time. For instance, Germany's election last week without the disfiguring presence of violence.
Yeah.
I have to say I was jarred by the phrase mature democracies.
Right.
Are we not?
Yes.
What is Facebook trying to do?
What they're trying to do is do word games, and he's excellent at them, by the way. I think they should give him a raise in that regard. But he's saying they're the primary. Look at the individual words they use. This is typical of Facebook. They've done it for decades now, or not decades, a decade now, where they use tiny words. No one's accusing them of being the primary reason for polarization. Humanity has been awful for centuries now, that kind of thing. And so what they're doing is they're saying, we didn't cause hate. I don't think they did. What they're doing is amplifying and weaponizing it to an unprecedented degree. It's not tenable for a company. This is a company whose employees didn't really leak for a long, long time. But you're seeing it all over tech. It's not just here. As people are like, just a second, what we're doing is damaging. It's not, I did an interview with Mark Benioff a couple of years ago. He called it cigarettes. It's not precisely cigarettes, is it? It's also gambling. It might be opiates. It might be other things. But the people inside those companies are recognizing that this company doesn't anticipate consequences and then tries to clean it up later, and then not very well.
Rebecca, what you talking about?
Nothing.
This Nick Clegg guy is a really powerful guy. The guy that we have on screen right now, he is the vice president for global affairs and communications at Facebook and has been there since 2018. He's also the former deputy prime minister of the United Kingdom. Facebook ain't playing with their top executives. And he's a master communicator of turning words on itself. But I like what she said. Like, social media is addictive. It's not just cigarettes. It's opiates. That's why people.
It's crazy. Well, that's what I was saying at the start of this conversation about Facebook. We are addicted to it. They make you addicted to it. They put everything that we utilize into social media. Is it innovative? Sure. But is it something that is taking our money, taking our mind, taking our time, causing us to lose time with the people that we love, causing us to lose time with our jobs to the point where jobs are now putting their stuff on social media, asking you to include yourself in the social media. Boy, please, I am blocking all of the corporation off my social media. I'm blocking all my friends.
I don't want to hear from that, Nan. Nobody's social media manager.
Don't even, don't even hit me up and tell me you shouldn't even be on my page. See, this is why I don't do y'all. But, back to unpersonal things. But yes, social media can be very, very addictive. And I've noticed that it can be so addictive that it's wearing on your health. I say that because there was a time where I constantly used social media, doing my master's degree because I was in new media journalism, and we would use they gave me everything that you can think of, like that came with the school. Shouts out to Full Sail University. They literally gave me the latest, the latest.
We got money. God damn.
Don't get. See, you can give FAMU a shout out, but not that thing. They got to write us a check to get a shout out from us. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Yeah, okay, but that's a media school. But I went and got the. They gave me the iPhone, the latest iPhone at the time, and then that's how I transitioned into iPhone. They gave me the latest, the one that you listen to music on. What is that one called again? The iPod, right?
The iPod, yeah.
The one that looks like a cell phone. Then they gave me a brand new MacBook because I was rolling on the old one. They gave me a brand new MacBook. They gave me 2 cameras. They bought all of that for me. But then all of it you had to utilize on specifically social media. And then I found myself when I wasn't using the devices they gave me, they would have me have my phone in my hand and stuff. I did it I think 3 stories a day and all the time. My hands, guys, had started developing a cramp because I would text on there too. I would post on there too. I would, do the work for class on there too. And then for the job that I was working at, she had me as a social media manager for a waxing salon. So I would have to be on my phone and things like that. My hands developed a cramp and I had to really sit down and think about my life. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on social media so much.
Yeah.
Much so that everybody else in my life, that they're consuming it too. And I'm freaking cramping in my hand and I'm only at the tender age of 26. This ain't it. So I've practiced. I've added that to my repertoire, my regimen, my morning regimen. Do not put your phone down, sis. And I love when my phone tells me your social media activity has went down such and such %. I'd be like, I ain't addicted. Yeah.
And I took a hiatus from Facebook. I took it off my phone and everything. So now the only way I can get to it is either on the computer or go on to Safari on my phone to view it. But I had to give up on Facebook. I got sick of seeing a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, if I don't want to follow any of this, how about I just get my ass off of there? And that's what I did, and I'm glad I did. I go on there, and I go on there when I feel like it, and it's not a necessity for me anymore.
Yeah, I think we're getting into the Facebook and all these social media companies monetize our connections. The fact that, Ben can connect with his childhood friends. There's a price tag to that, and they made a whole lot of money on it. But because we've seen how much damage social media in general has done to society, I hope we're going into a phase where social media is just like a utility, like a tool versus an obsession. But I don't know if we can get there.
We're already obsessed. Sometimes I'm saying
I feel like we got to get. I don't know, man. I think everybody felt the sign when Facebook went down yesterday.
No, but it wasn't only Facebook that went down, though, Ben. It was Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. We have to look at how all of these platforms. But were we set free? Because we all run over to Twitter, who does literally the same thing that all those other social media networks do.
Well, so, at least Mark Zuckerberg lost $7 billion. You're not going to take all my joy.
At least that. But we got to be honest about what social media does as a whole. It does that. Right. It does great things, and it also does. We are addicted to social media. Like I said yesterday, we ran over to Twitter. We didn't sit down and do something like clean the house, fold the laundry, whatever. But
get the water out of the
trunk. Run over to Twitter just to be a part. Just to say I was in that conversation, just to say the same very sentence that everybody else is saying on the timeline. Facebook is down. Instagram down for y'all too. I can't even use WhatsApp, so I'm here on Twitter. It's cute for a while, but then it was the length of time that people were literally utilizing on Twitter just to say the same thing. And that's when I realized, damn, I didn't say the same thing 3 times today. Let me take my behind and go do something with my life. Okay? And then I realized that by midday, I did everything I needed to do. Because I'm like, dang, I did not have social media. And I'm not saying don't get on social media, but we've already come to a place where it is consuming our lives. Literally, we need to learn to do things without. And that's no knock to anybody who makes money off social media. We're on YouTube. That is a form of social media. We're trying to make the coins that we can on here every day.
Patreon.com/like it or not.
/like it or not. But it's not to knock any of the Instagram models or anybody else who utilizes social media. We do it too. But if social media were to go down, I don't want everybody to feel like they're dying. We might need a 2-week break. We might need that. We might need it.
I'm thinking of the interview I just did with Jen Senko, saying that the way they were able to save her father was by him taking a break from talk radio. So I agree, Rebecca. Let's take. I want to play this next clip. It's from. It's a compilation of Mark Zuckerberg and the whistleblower, the Facebook whistleblower by the name of Francis Hagen. And in this clip, it's a conversation about Facebook realizing that if they change the algorithm to make the internet, Facebook safer, people would spend less time on the site. And so they'll click on less ads, and then Facebook will make less money. So here's the exact reason why Facebook has to keep you addicted. Social media in general has to keep you addicted. Let's look at this clip.
Haugen told us the root of Facebook's problem is in a change that it made in 2018 to its algorithms.
So, you have your phone. You might see only 100 pieces of content if you sit and scroll off for, 5 minutes. But Facebook has thousands of options it could show you.
The algorithm picks from those options based on the kind of content you've engaged with the most.
Easier to inspire people to anger than it is to other emotions.
Do you believe your product can be addictive?
We certainly do not design the product in that way.
Facebook has realized that if they change the algorithm to be safer, people will spend less time on the site. They'll click on less ads, they'll make less money.
The research that we've seen is that using social apps to connect with other people can have positive mental health benefits and well-being benefits.
Facebook's own research says, as these young women begin to consume this eating disorder content, they get more and more depressed, and it actually makes them use the app more.
The way we design our algorithms is to encourage meaningful social interactions.
Its own research is showing that content that is hateful, that is divisive, that is polarizing, gets engagement, a reaction.
But election interference remains an ongoing threat, so we continue to improve as part of our ongoing commitment to supporting the civic process.
They basically said, oh good, we made it through the election, there wasn't riots, we can get rid of civic integrity now.
We strengthened our enforcement against militias and conspiracy networks like QAnon to prevent them from using our platforms to organize violence or civil unrest.
But after the election, Facebook was used by some to organize the January 6th insurrection.
Come on, somebody.
There it is. And before you jump in there, Rebecca, shout out to The Recount. They put that mashup together, therecount.com. Your thoughts?
We saw it. We see that it's two sides to the story, and they like to say it's on the same coin. It's not. This is not the same coin. This is two sides to the story that are very different. One person's going to say this, and one person's going to say that. What we're seeing here is Mark Zuckerberg tries to elude to this idea that he's like, a down to earth, just made money out of nowhere. I'm just that type of person. And so when I watch him in this interview, what I see is somebody who has learned to say the right things, right? He knows what it is over here. But if I pull a little bit of what the truth is, because there's a truth in what he's saying, if I pull a little bit of what the truth is here, families and friends can connect through Facebook. The numbers show that they do connect on Facebook. That's not a lie, but it's still evil because in the way that you're using this truth to literally downplay what's really happening here on your social media network. Family and friends and militias and hate groups are getting together. That's what's happening,
right?
And they are producing what we see, what we saw happen on January 6th, and that's what he's not talking about. So, he can say what he wants and what he's saying isn't a lie, but he's leaving out some serious parts, and he's leaving out what those groups of families and friends get together and create on them social media websites where it's white supremacist pages and hate groups for Asians and hate groups for Black Americans and all that kind of stuff and immigrants. And then they get together and they build this thing where they become terrorists and they do what they did on January 6th.
Amen.
You said a word there. Here's one last clip. Well, anyway, I'm just going to play it. I'm not going to introduce it. It's Jen Psaki, and she's discussing social media companies being incapable of regulating themselves. Let's run the press secretary for the President of the United States.
In our view, this is just the latest in a series of revelations about social media platforms that make clear that self-regulation is not working. That's long been the president's view and been the view of this administration. They validate the significant concern that the president and lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have expressed about how social media giants operate and the power they've amassed.
She touched up her roots. Jen Psaki's a really pretty girl. But anywho,
y'all already know what all I thought about.
She's a really beautiful, and I know, like, she's a young woman, but she's just what that pulpit does to you. It's something creepy. I don't know. It just ages you quickly.
She makes me want to see more of a. I love her. I love the ginger. I love the red. And it makes me think I want to see more of the Doctor Who with some ginger for all the Doctor Who fans out there. But I really want to know what you thought about what she was saying, Rebecca.
Sorry, I was just like, dang, if they just kind of fill in her eyebrow a bit, but
they're darkening it a little bit.
I really think that they go. Because I say all that to say, not even coming for her looks, but I think that they do that on purpose. They're trying to make her look like it's just been a hard night. It's just been like a long, and I feel like outside
very
of that,
minimalistic. Very much so.
Like, she can go there.
What did you think about what she had to say, Rebecca?
Because then
let her go there and be like she's like I just feel like it wears you down. We saw what Sarah Huckabee looked like she was 85, and that girl was not.
The shadowy. What was it? I can't stand none of y'all.
She was not. That they really got them up there looking like you know how they do church kids when they get to the church and they about 15 years old. They be having them in them grown folks clothes. Okay. It's like
this is why they want to play the clip.
They make her look. She's trying to look very conservative because in the TikTok video
look like. That doesn't have to like Nancy Pelosi. It doesn't have to give Nancy Pelosi. She's not there.
Yes, you remember in the TikTok video with the intern, the guy that was supposed to be her intern. Oh yeah, her face was beat. She looked damn good. Oh. Now when she get up here on this stage, she over here looking like Lucy from the Peanuts game.
Anywho,
I can't stand you, James.
Bubba.
James, now we got to put it. No, we're not going to put that on screen. We're going to shift gears.
Not going to put that on screen.
I'm pulling that out. I'm pulling out of that conversation for the sake of the mission.
Okay, so the White House is basically saying that Facebook is amplifying and weaponizing hate. But the fact that it's been doing this, Facebook has been doing this, and I know that it's never too late to join some of the conversations because, we're in this new administration. So they, I'm glad that they've put that out there that Facebook is amplifying and weaponizing hate. But this thing has been going on like nobody's business. We had our previous administration literally utilizing Facebook to build these groups that we saw on January 6th. Right. So I will say I am glad that this current administration is pointing that out. Yeah. I want to know what can be done about it. And when we say Facebook, it's not only Facebook. I say that to say Facebook has basically ownership over the other two that we love so much. WhatsApp, when I contact, my shorties, international shorties on WhatsApp. And then, on Instagram, where we can now see those people who are on Facebook in those groups now posting their play-by-play every single moment of what January 6th was on Instagram. Yep. It's like a whole thing, a whole connection. And this is the problem. Facebook has grown, like almost like how Popeyes eats spinach. That's what Facebook did when they merged or when they took over WhatsApp and Instagram.
Mm-hmm. And they found the perfect way to fund their empire, right? Because you got to think about shows like Ben Shapiro, the guy who talks like this. He at one point he was spending $100,000 a month advertising on Facebook because it's that lucrative for far right-wing organizations like Project Veritas. Those of you who may have never heard of Project Veritas, it's something that has been a thorn in the side of democracy at least since the 2008 campaign. If you Google Acorn, there's just so many different things that James O'Keefe and the Project Veritas team does to harm our democracy. Well, they've shifted gears, and now they're trying to exacerbate the pandemic. They're trying to make it worse. And their latest release that is going viral today, 1 million views, Rebecca. This is the power of social media. They got 1 million views on this morning. So by the time we're done with this show, we probably will be at 2 million views just this morning. Now, I don't want to play the clip because the social media companies are starting to take it down. I want to make sure that we're only going to roll it like you see it right now as B-roll. But according to this clip, this is supposed to be somehow an endorsement of this scientist by the name of Nick Carl, who supposedly worked for Pfizer, and this is supposed to be damning evidence that that the vaccine is not as effective as natural antibodies. In other words, Project Veritas has a video going viral as we speak to the tune of probably 2 million views right now, suggesting that the best thing for you to do is to catch COVID-19 versus take the vaccine, and it is going like wildfire on social media as we speak.
And they're using
this crazy
to back it up, huh?
Yep. And the guy who was on the screen a minute ago, James O'Keefe, he's probably the lowest of the bottom feeders, like Megan said. He is out here just doing any stunt. It's a spectacle. It's a sideshow because he knows even if he is embarrassed in national media, there's all those people on social media who are about to send him money right now. And the right wing was not enough. Now he's got to get the conspiracy theory money.
See, this is so problematic. When you got money,
it is,
and you utilize your platform and you put out these kind of conversations. When I talk in a monotone like that, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it.
That's when you're in trouble, huh?
When I'm looking at it and I can't believe it. And what they do is, like I said, they'll do this thing where they'll put in like truths and, that stuff that can be verified, but stuff that also, hey, this is the truth, but this is what it is. Like they're missing a whole sentence that is very important. And I don't like that because it's already have gotten people killed. We've reached 700,000 at this point.
Yeah.
And, these are the people that have the blood on their hands.
That's right.
And there's we're looking at a whole media project right now, and it's already hit over a million views. It's very problematic because a million people could literally lose their life tomorrow because they're going off of what's being said here.
Because what they're saying is they're saying go get the disease, James.
That's what I was about to say. So basically, y'all telling people go get COVID and build up natural immunity and don't get the vaccine. Okay.
Yeah.
Then die.
Yeah. Dwayne, I know you don't have it yet.
I mean, what else can you say? Because this is crazy, y'all. What's the point? That's my whole thing. What's the point?
Money.
Like, what's the whole point of this? Why are y'all going and
but you can't spend money when you're dead. You can't spend $1 when you're dead.
Oh, I guarantee you, James O'Keefe has the vaccine. I guarantee you, his old
these
staff.
people have the vaccine. These people have the vaccine.
We're trying to kill ya! USA! Woo!
I wasn't talking about that one, but that's a good one.
USA! Woo! You're going to be dead! We're trying to kill ya! USA! Woo! You're going to be dead!
But for the simple fact that it popped up in my little box down there, wait a minute. I got made it even more funny.
Dwayne, I got a request though. That wasn't what I was looking for. Then die. You don't want to take the vaccine? Then die. Oh man. Hey, but what's wild? What's wild to me is this dude is like, a joke. I mean, like high key, but he's a well-paid joke because you don't have to be smart to make it in the right-wing circles of this country. You just got to be willing to be seen as a complete fool on the international stage, and you will make a lot of money. So he's laughing all the way to the bank because 1 million views in 4 hours. Whether or not YouTube takes it down, that means that there's probably 100,000 people sending this kid money this morning for this fake news.
Oh yeah. And then
I'm not going to get the vaccine. Then die. What do we do? Argue with you? I'm not on the debate team. This isn't mock trial. I'm worried about the side effects. I'm worried about the disease. Well, they're tracking you through the microchip. They're tracking you through the phone you're watching this on. Get the vaccine.
And why does this box keep appearing over me? It's a Project Veritas. Anywho, let's be honest. And and it may even be true or remotely true, or I don't know. I don't trust none of it. That your antibodies build up once you have it, and you get stronger from it. But let's be honest. You got to survive the damn thing first. I don't think people understand how serious COVID is, bruh. It was serious before Delta variant came out and people weren't surviving. So now you about to get this whole damn thing, think you about to build up immunity. You're going to kill yourself.
If you survive.
If you survive. Put that out there. See, nobody says that. You'll get stronger immunity if you survive.
If you survive.
9 times out of 10, your ass is not to survive.
Mm-hmm. All them comorbidities you could like.
Let me flip it on this head a little bit. Okay, get the vaccine, then get COVID, strong immunity, don't get the booster shot. Okay, you happy? You stupid asses. What is going on? What is going on in America today? Jesus.
Everything but I'm so like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm not gonna. I told y'all, I'm not gonna fight anyone. If you're interested in knowing, okay, we could have a conversation, whatever. But if you just really, trying to fight me because you don't want to wear your mask, and I hate to say it because I don't want to put that on your life. But if you don't want to put it on your mask, then die.
Then die.
I hate to say that,
then
but
die.
I can't argue with you. I'm on.
We don't got the energy.
I gotta worry about me and my bills. I gotta worry about me another day. I gotta worry about me being a black person in America. You're not promised every single day. Already on top of not even being promised another day. Okay, so like I don't have time for you to be all, I don't want to wear my mask because my American rights, or to be like the vaccine has a freaking chip in it. They're gonna find us. I don't have time. I don't have it. So do what you got to do.
Dwayne, you stupid.
Wait, I missed it.
Because we're trying to look like the scientists in the chat. It's like, because I'm trying to look at it and figure out what type of scientists these are too. He said it best. These are scientists from Half Baked.
That's all I was thinking about when the clip kept saying he was a scientist. I kept thinking about janitor, scientist.
Because looking at him, I'm like, bro, what kind? You know what?
Oh man, kind of scientists that probably got a nice little check to go in there and say that, right? Look, let's be real. Money talks.
And that's what I was about to say. I really think that part of this. Look at those. Let's be honest. Look at the scientists that they showed on that clip. Majority of them, they probably were paid to say, hey, we want you to go out here and say this and then come back and be done with it. Okay. Just pay them off. That's what it looks like they're doing. Because who would be bold enough if you said that you signed NDAs? Why would you go down and sit and talk with somebody about this, especially something like this? That makes no sense.
Let me tell you guys about James O'Keefe.
I bet you his video was on Facebook.
No, that's where they made their views, right? James O'Keefe is the type of person. He's the type of person who will pay these guys to say this, and by the time we debunk it, he's moved on to the next project, and he's already made all his money. So you got to understand, and the reason I think it's so important is because he's speaking the language that is going to resonate with some folks in the black community. Because everybody, people got vaccine hesitancy and all that stuff. We cover it all the time. I just want folks to know who you get your information from, man. This guy has no problem whatsoever seeing you die from COVID-19 so that he can make a couple of bucks off this video.
Hey, Ben, karma is amazing, though. Apparently their office was flooded from Ida. Really? Project Veritas.
Yeah, September.
It was destroyed.
Was flooded from Ida?
From Hurricane
Ida.
Oh.
Well, nice. Look at that.
We'll have footage in a second from.
But they got money. I bet you they do a scam to get help from the government, and they ain't got to pay.
Of course they did.
I wonder if they got some.
Of course they did.
The PPP loan. Mm-hmm. Probably did.
Of course they did.
Listen, folks, we're getting ready to go to the after party. Patreon.com/like it or not. We have a whole lot of stories to cover. We got clips.
We got 5 minutes.
Donald Trump. I know. I'm just.
God. I just wanted to know. I was like, hey, you got 5 minutes.
Can I do my job?
Oh, while we're here, I got a story to tell you. Ben, you remember Danielle Labiqua, how we talked about her name?
Yes. I'm sorry, we love you, Danielle. We
Why
love
did you give the full name?
Yes, so and there's actually a story behind how she got her name, and Twitch username, and unbelievably, it came from TYT.
Oh, really?
Yes. Really? So, Dwayne, if you can, roll that clip for us, please, if you got it.
Nope.
Oh, we don't have it? Not yet. So we'll filibuster a little bit.
Okay. All right. So we got that. We got that coming up.
Yeah.
We got the after party coming up. Patreon.com/like it or not. Rebecca, what do you have left on your plate?
I don't have much. It's just, a Tuesday. It's pretty rainy out here, as you guys can see behind me. Wrap those weaves up, ladies, like we used to say on the Weather Channel back at FAM. Ladies, it is going to be very stormy out there. Put on those rain boots, but also protect that weave. Wrap those weaves up. Why would we do that at FAM? I don't know.
Why? Because y'all are so ghetto. Oh, my God.
No, because it's news that's relevant. Let's be. Come on. Right. You got to know your audience. That's the exact message.
That's real, though.
Listen, leave out, all of that, baby. Protect it. Protect your edges. We wasn't doing the full lace wigs at the time, so real hair was out on the edges. Okay,
all right.
So we had to protect those.
I think we have sufficiently filibustered the same amount that Kirsten Cinema is filibustering. Dwayne, run that footage. Labiqua.
Okay, Daniel Labiqua writes in. I love this. It's long, but it's great. It's a tyt.com/join to become a member. Those are the comments I read first.
Patreon.com.
Hi, Cenk and Anna. It's always good. Right. I've been wanting to share the story behind my name change with you. I used to be Danielle LGBTQIA. A couple of months ago, Cenk read my resub anniversary message and called me Danielle Labiqua. Brett started calling me Labiqua, and it stuck. So about a month ago, I officially changed my name to Danielle Labiqua. My mispronunciations are actually affecting the planet. Amazing. That's amazing. Continuing, I'm so glad to finally be able to share this with you. I love you and Anna so much, and all my TYT family. And I could not make it in this crazy world without every single one of you. TYT, best family ever. Well, Danielle, you're amazing.
Second best family.
Amazing.
Wait a minute. All right,
second best family.
And clarify,
your courage and everything else.
Because he was gonna stop talking. I'm like, if he talk over me on my show one more time, but Danielle, it's great that's the best show, but you meant second best because
second best show.
Best show over here.
Yeah.
Shout out to wait. Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to TYT though. We ain't no beef. We love him over there. But if you're watching,
we love him over there.
So you can't talk about another show being number one
on our show. Go cut me that. I love the Labiqua though. It makes perfectly sense.
That is so hilarious.
It makes sense.
So it's not just
me. It's like in school when they're calling for the attendance and they're coming across the names. And they're like, Ron. Like, why did they do that?
Why? Wait.
Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Why is Jake just as bad as pronouncing last names as me? I don't think I would have came up with Labiqua though if I saw LGBT.
Because we know over here we wouldn't come up with Labiqua. That's all I'm saying. It's the
Labiqua.
Oh, please,
hey,
Labiqua, please cut this and tag us. Tag us on Twitter for this one. Tag Jake. Shout out to Jake. Everybody at TYT. We love you guys over there. We are the best show in the mornings.
Yeah, I know. Yes, we are. I mean, who better than us? Who is going to push us more than us? Head over to patreon.com/like it or not. Become a Patreon today. So that because we won't be over here, Labiqua. We will make sure we get you right, or you will get me right, because you guys know how y'all do us.
Because I'm gonna mess up everybody's last name.
Like y'all did him over at TYT. You were real nice with it, but over here y'all be like, no, Rebecca, that is not how you say it.
Oh man, wait. That's
somebody need to check Rebecca because she said my name wrong. Bubba, can you please tell Rebecca that she said my name wrong? Okay, I got you.
They be in my DMs 2 seconds. They be like, we love the show today, but just to correct you, make one correction. You were wrong about this. You're wrong. So here's the correct. Okay.
Hey.
Right. Like, oh, okay.
And they look at this. They let Jake done rename the whole lady. She done went and changed the whole name.
Whole name.
And they email us and say, you got to correct the name, how you pronounce it. Look at that. Why y'all do that to us?
Just shut up.
Why we got to be corrected from Jake? You changed your name for Jake, but we love y'all, all of y'all. We mean.
I hate you. And look, now everybody's in the chat room talking about that's what led us to being TYT. So shout out to TYT who graced everybody and bought us over.
Yeah, well, then let me go. I haven't hung out with TYT in a minute. Shout out to John Iadarola. I was on his show a couple weeks ago. I got to go back and hang out. I haven't been over there in at least 2 or 3 months now. So, but shout out to them. Shout out to everyone at Act TV. Do more than watch. Go and download the app, the Fire TV, the Apple Store, the Roku, like wherever you get apps. Go and download the App TV OTT channel so that you can watch us live there. Shout out to the Double D's in the background, Dwayne and David, making the show possible. Georgia Ford, who was on the scene this morning, bringing us that live coverage of the serious incidents that's happening there in Minneapolis. James, DJ Exclusive, can't do it without you. Can you come tomorrow? And Rebecca Azor.
I will be here at 9:45 tomorrow morning. But before we get out of here, Mara, if you're in the chat, I meant to say, congrats on your new business venture. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, lingerie. If it's not, it's something. But congrats on your new business.
Okay, Mara.
I know that she was posting that online for about like a week, and I meant to give you a shout out. So shout out to you, beautiful black woman.
Go ahead,
and
drop
now
that link.
Drop the link.
Drop that link in the chat.
For real, Mara. Drop the link, Mara.
If that's what it was, definitely. If not, correct me in the chat, because y'all know y'all love to correct the sister.
They changed the name.
We are not above correction over here. So, yeah, we are moving forward. Listen, DJ X3C, we going to see you tomorrow. Okay?
Hey, maybe we do this. Like, if you want to see DJ Exclusive tomorrow, then y'all drop that man some.
Look at his head. He's like, girl.
DJ X3C on Venmo and Cash App. DJ X3C on Venmo and Cash App. What's up? That's going to determine if I show my ass up tomorrow. And will determine if y'all get the remix or not.
Rebecca, I'm gonna go ahead and go make a
get us here. Y'all better show us the money, because I'm not coming on an off day. Believe that.
Show me the money.
I love you guys.
I need all of y'all. Hey.
You need to watch. David talking about producers never get tips. Yes, y'all do. Look both ways before crossing the street.
Check me, bro.
I hate y'all so much. Love you, David. Mean it. Will not take it. Try to give Ben a day off every time Ben's like, no, I'm gonna be here. Man, whatever, Ben. So what he'll do, he'll say that his internet went out. I can't stand y'all. Man, thank y'all again so much for joining this morning. Make sure that if you have not already, patreon.com/likeitandnot, patreon.com/likeitandnot, or patreon.com/the BPD show, y'all. After party starting soon. Y'all hop y'all tail on over there. And if you're not over there, go to see our brother Pascal and visit that channel as well. See y'all tomorrow. Maybe. David and Dwayne, Mama said when I hit the lotto, I got you. She said David and Chuck, but I guess she meant Dwayne, so maybe she means David, Dwayne, and Chuck. Okay, right. Oh, Dwayne, you know she coming up there to babysit, so.
Right now.